Tonight, I showed up. Those are the exact words that former President Donald Trump is using to defend his appearance at the National Association of Black Journalists convention yesterday, an appearance in which he questioned Harris's race.
She was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
Of course, Harris is both and has been very clear about that.
No, she's clearly been lying. Kamala, the cosplaying Kamala Harris, is a red dot Indian mixed with Irish and East Indian. She's not a Black American at all. She was raised in an Asian Indian household in California first before being moved to Canada. She graduated from a Canadian high school, not American, and she's been colonizing Black American culture. She is not a Black American, period.
She spoke extensively about it, in fact, over the years. And to Charlemagne the God, host of the Breakfast Club radio show, she talked about it.
I'm black.
Yes.
And I'm proud of being black.
Absolutely.
And I was born black. I will die black. And I'm proud of being black. And I'm not going to make any excuses for anybody because they don't understand.
Has been doing a lot of active outreach around the South Asians, around the API in general, and will continue to do it. I mean, what we know in particular when you're talking about the South Asian community, we're talking about the Indian community more specifically, it is a growing community in the United States in terms of its voting bloc, in terms of its participation, and I think the party knows that and knows that this is part of our collective community, and there needs to be outreach and inclusion.
And certainly you could become the first Indian senator in U.S. history, which would be quite an accomplishment.
Knock wood.
California's Kamala Harris is the first Indian American U.S. senator. The state attorney general took on another Democrat, Loretta Sanchez, for the seat.
And California's Attorney General Kamala Harris has scripted history as she won the U.S. Senate seat from the state, becoming the first Indian American to achieve this feat.
Becoming the first Indian American woman to be nominated as a vice presidential candidate in America.
I stand before you as the first candidate for vice president of the United States of South Asian descent. When my mother, Shamala, stepped off the plane in California at 19 years old, she didn't have much in the way of belongings. But she carried with her lessons from back home.
You run to Atlanta when you need a few dollars. No, you're not a colleague, you're a colonizer.
All right, Charlemagne the God's out front. He's also the author of a new book called Get Honest or Die Lying, Why Small Talk Sucks, an analysis of the moment in which we all live, this polarized world that we are living in. So Charlemagne, Trump's not backing away from the controversy. Today he went online, he shared a photo of Harris wearing a sari in a family photo, and he writes about it. Your warmth, friendship, and love of your Indian heritage are very much appreciated. Okay, so that's what he did today. Let me just ask it to you this way, though, Charlemagne. Does he deserve credit, as he says, for showing up at the Black Journalists event yesterday?
Peace, Aaron. How are you, first and foremost? No, does he deserve credit? No, he doesn't deserve credit. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't give a damn about any of this, and neither should you. Like, nobody in the media should care. Donald Trump doesn't have any new tricks. He focuses on identity. He focuses on race. He focuses on gender.
See, Charlemagne and them, they're out here flipping it. Trump was at the NABJ. That's where the black reporter questioned him about DEI. And the question was, did he think that she got her job because she was a black woman? That's who brought that up. And that's when Trump said he didn't know she was black because before she claimed to be Indian. Not to mention all we heard the first week of her campaign was that she was the first Black American woman, this and that. Remember, that's why the media said everybody was getting excited. That's why people like Charlemagne said they will vote for her because she'll be the first Black American woman president. When truthfully, she's not Black American at all. Now, when people correct the lie, they want to move the goalpost and change the conversation. But obviously this lie was very important because it gave her an advantage with black voters.
He makes white America think that the changing demographics of this country are a threat to their livelihood, and he makes them believe if we don't take things back to the way they were, probably 1950 something.
It's the media. They're scaring everybody using race, specifically black people. They've been trying to scare us all year. At the BET Awards, they're trying to scare us. Turn on the radio, they're trying to scare us. On every cable network, they're trying to scare us. But let me tell you, everybody ain't scared. The jig is up.
In America, as they know it, will be ruined. It's just a distraction. Like Public Enemy had a album called Fear of a Black Planet. Trump tries to scare people with the fear of a black and brown America, and we have to stop falling for it. Like we just have to stop falling for it.
All right,
like,
so yeah. All right, so today, though, you talk about it. You tackled it on your show because it's out there. People are talking about it. One of your callers actually called in and said something about it that I wanted to play for everyone, so you could explain sort of how this makes you think and feel. Here's the caller.
Man, to be honest, Kamala Harris, she already said that she wasn't black. It's all over everything. She done had interviews. Yeah. I understand. But she already said that she's not black. She identifies as an Indian. When she was running and she did all of that in California. Yes, she has.
No, she hasn't.
Yes, she has.
Listen, have you ever read her book?
No, I don't read. I won't. Say what now?
In her book, she specifically talks about how, her mom definitely instilled her Indian heritage in her, but also told her she was a black woman and raised her to be a proud black woman.
They have it.
She can write whatever she want to write in her book. She could say she's Wonder Woman in her book. That birth certificate don't say Black American, or in that day it should have said Negro. It lists that her mom is Caucasian, and for her dad, the country he's from. We're not taking her word for what she wrote. We're verifying, fact-checking what she wrote. And how was her Indian mama going to instill Black American status in her?
Interview, she has a verbal interview with a white woman, and she says that she is not black, she is Indian.
Lord have mercy.
So what do you do about that?
What do I do? Is I tell everybody not to be distracted.
Y'all trying to hurry up and get this lady installed in 90 days, using she's going to be the first black woman to gain our support, when she's not doing anything for black people. All these years she's been in office, she only cared about Indians, red dot Indians, did nothing for black people at all.
And I would say the same thing to the vice president. All the vice president has to do is stay on message. All these conversations about what's black, who's black, forget all that. How you gonna put money in people's pockets? How you gonna keep people safe? That's what both candidates need to be talking about over the next 95 days.
No, that's what we've been saying for the last week. Where's the agenda for black people? And y'all keep saying shut up and vote for Rachel Dolezal Jr. You and all your friends been throwing in our faces she's black instead of the black agenda.
We all know Kamala Harris is black, and we all know she's Indian. And we also know Donald Trump is a bigot, and we know he's divisive.
And we also know you'll say anything and lie to these people while only looking out for your own interests, just like her and the rest of your friends.
I don't need the media running Donald Trump's greatest hits over and over for the next 95 days. Donald Trump, as of right now, has no real strategy against the vice president. So they're going to say she's a DEI hire. They're going to attempt to weaponize her not having kids. They're going to question her blackness. Ignore it all. Aaron, listen.
But Charlamagne, I understand, but you're talking about the media, and I'm not taking it personally, but I do think it's important, in part because of that caller.
Media too, though.
I know,
media too.
Yeah, no, I understand, but that caller calls in, and whether it should or shouldn't, sometimes it just is. If it gets into the ether and it starts affecting how people think and feel, then that becomes an actual problem. How do you deal with that? You get calls like that. You actually have an opportunity to interact with someone, to try to explain. Do you feel like people hear you?
He don't care. They just get orders to tell us what to do and sabotage us, and we're tired of it.
Yes, I have no problem telling that young man he's bugging. Well, or you could say he's half right? Because yes, the vice president has said she's Indian, but she also says she's black because she's both. And that's why we need to ignore it all.
Yeah, they want us to ignore it all, guys. Ignore the fact that they try to get our support parading her around as a black American woman, and she's not even black American. Come to find out, she's not black at all. She's Indian. So now they want all the race talk they started on to go away.
The media should focus on whatever candidate is talking about the issues. Anything else is not worth the airtime. How many times is Donald Trump going to run the same trick over and over and over, and we continue to fall for it and be distracted? Focus on the issues. Focus on the candidate that has an actual plan for America.
That's what we're trying to do. But on her website, there's no plan for America, just buttons to donate. And she's definitely not concerned with a plan for Black America. So why should Black Americans be concerned about her plan to become the first Asian president?
All right, so let me ask you, J.D. Vance is commenting on her. He's been trying to comment, to defend Trump's comments about her. And here's what he said to our Steve Cantor. I'm going to highlight one word here, but let me just play it.
Look, all he said is that Kamala Harris is a chameleon. She goes to Georgia 2 days ago. She was raised in Canada. She puts on a fake Southern accent. She is everything to everybody, and she pretends to be somebody different depending on which audience she's in front of. I think it's totally reasonable for the president to call that out, and that's all he did.
So he calls her a chameleon, and that's the exact same word, actually, Charlemagne, that his former friend, longtime friend, used to describe J.D. Vance to me. Here's what she said.
What I've seen is a chameleon, someone who is able to change their positions and their values depending on what will amass them political power and wealth. And I think that's really unfortunate because it reflects a lack of integrity.
I don't know what this lady got to do with us. And G.I. Jane is also a chameleon because she's trying to look like sir right now instead of ma'am. Listen, none of this is about to make Kamala Harris Black American. They could bring up Trump every second, I don't care. She is still not like us.
I'll just note, Charlemagne, that he used the word chameleon after his friend used it. I don't know whether that, whether he saw that. It's very possible he did. But you write about this, that words matter. You talk about Get Honest or Die Lying. That's your new book. And it's about honesty in politics, right? So when people are using words like chameleon, that may be a word, but it gets at something that's quite deep, right? What is truth? And when is a person actually being genuine? How do you think about this, given where you sit every day, these calls that you get?
Yeah, I mean, to your point, I have a chapter in my new book called The Language of Politics is Dead. And I talk about how tired we are of the way politicians talk to us and how everything is too safe and folks are too afraid to take chances. And I feel like the internet killed all that, like social media in particular. People have gotten used to hearing ideas, and not just ideas, but news, all topics in just authentic ways.
Yeah, and there's nothing authentic about a red dot Indian cosplaying as a Black American woman.
And two things that I love right now, my critique of the vice president was the person I've known since 2017, the person that, we used to see grilling people in Senate hearings. That individual had disappeared over the last few years. But over the last couple of months, whether it's been her, economic opportunity tour, or even after the way she stepped up after Biden's terrible debate performance, and of course now that, she's at the top of the ticket, I've seen that real person show up. Like I've seen that person, really come to the forefront. And I think, as long as we see more of the real her over the next 95 days, she can probably win this thing. So I'm definitely not seeing a chameleon in Vice President Kamala Harris right now. I'm seeing the person that I know on air and off air.
Charlemagne said, let's stop talking about how she's not a Black woman when that's the reason why he said he was voting for her. Nah, the truth is she's been caught red-handed with a red dot, and the paperwork came back dirty on her Black American report. He's basically saying that we just need to see the same sassy woman from the Senate hearings where she used to go back and forth. Sure, while they'll say that behavior is ghetto and have Black American women absorb that too. Yeah, every negative stereotype dealing with this woman will fall on Black Americans, and she's not even us. Anything positive about her will be associated with Asians, Indians, the AAPI community. No, Kamala, go back over there with them. This woman is the kind of Indian from India. She's more Indian than anything. Outside of that, it'll be Irish. But it's very clear, she is not Black American. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Charlemagne and friends, they are obviously panicking right now because people realize that she's not us. Tell me what you think about this below. Special thank you to Rob P. I appreciate you, Rob, for all of your support, as well as Barrington, Willie, The Wall Reports, Ike Fob, Emmanuel, and Creed. Don't forget that you can support this channel as well. Links to Cash App and PayPal are below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to like and share.
Today, on August 15th, 2020, I stand before you as the first candidate for Vice President of the United States of South Asian descent. People of India and to Indian Americans.